Your eye contact sucks because you have an inhibited voice. Believe it or not, there is a direct relation between how open and expressive and reliable your voice is and your ability to maintain eye contact in conversations. Let's go a little bit deeper on what that means and how it actually works. If this is your first time here, my name is Hossam. I'm a life coach, NLP practitioner, and a voice trainer. I help people go from socially anxious to socially confident through healing at the root cause and healing their voice and their vocal tightness so that they have this authentic expression permanently and sustainably. Before we begin, please hit the like and subscribe button to support this channel. I really appreciate it. It only takes a second. Alright, I was speaking to a client about his wins during the week and his challenges. And one of his wins was he went to many social interactions, and that's great. That's what he's working on. And one of the challenges was maintaining eye contact with especially the opposite sex. If he's speaking to a beautiful woman, incredibly attractive person, he would have more hard time maintaining eye contact. And many people struggle with that, and they don't really make the connection between their voice and their ability to maintain eye contact. And I especially have a very unique story with that. At work, I was still in the corporate world, and for some reason, I was terrible at maintaining eye contact. I didn't know why. I didn't know what was the problem. I just couldn't maintain eye contact. When somebody's speaking to me, I would look at them, at their eyes for 2 seconds, and then I would look around, and then I would look down, and then I would look at them again, and then I would look up and around. And I didn't know how I can maintain eye contact. It just wasn't natural. Until I started to release the tension from my voice. When I discovered exercises to open up my voice, and I started to feel confident and comfortable with my voice and my expression, my eye contact started to improve. And here's why. Here's my analysis. It's because our voice is the interface between the inside world and the outside world. And if I'm listening to someone, this is the primary tool of response. If somebody says, I love you, this is the primary tool to say, I love you too. If somebody said what you did was wrong, this is the primary tool to say, tell me more. How? What makes you think so? This is the primary tool. And you notice, even as I'm expressing that, I'm going in a higher pitch. I love you too. What makes you think so? It's a higher pitch. Well, about 3-4 years ago, I did not have this kind of pitch. I did not have this kind of expression. So I felt insecure. I felt unprotected in day-to-day interactions because people can say things, positive or negative. If it has a slight excitement, then I feel powerless because I don't have this kind of excitement expression in my voice. So I would divert eye contact to create a buffer, to create a distance from the person. Also, I even noticed that as I'm releasing the tightness from my own voice and opening up my voice, that in conversations when somebody's speaking, now that my voice is open, I can pace and lead. When somebody says something, I can say, yep, easily. 4 years ago, I couldn't say that. There was so much tension in my voice that it was taking me so much effort to say something like, right, to say something like, yeah. It just wouldn't come out easily. My neck would stick forward every time I have to produce sound. I would have to speak in higher pitch, like, yeah. And then as I say it, it sounds fake, it sounds awkward, it sounds cringy. Because the vibration is not in the right place. But as I'm opening up my voice and doing the right things and acquiring my natural voice back, I can very naturally and easily say, yep, I hear you. That's right. I can easily engage in the conversation and the subtleties that go into every single interaction that we have. And then it becomes such a joyous experience to connect with someone that way. It's like a beautiful dance. A beautiful conversation is like a beautiful dance. If you're into sports, it's a beautiful match. It's a beautiful game. That's what a beautiful conversation is. It's natural. It has all these intricacies, and it's all from the voice. Also, when we cannot express well, we cannot hear well. Well, more specifically, we cannot hear precisely well. We may hear the words, we may hear the sounds, but our brain may interpret it as ambient noise, as white noise. The person is speaking, but all I'm hearing is and it's because this outlet is not open. The ears and the voice are so connected. This is receiving and this is giving. This is receiving and this is giving. There needs to be a flow. And if one end of it is clogged, the other end will be clogged as well. So improving the voice liberated me, and now I feel comfortable maintaining eye contact, and not in a creepy way, in the most natural and comfortable way. Is the only thing to do when somebody's talking to me and I'm interacting with someone, is to look them in the eyes and try to understand them more and be present, instead of me thinking, what do I need to say? How am I looking? What do I need to do with my hand? What do I need to do with my arm? Am I staring too much? And being self-conscious, it's just so natural to be there, because my voice is reliable. It's unconscious. I'm not thinking, oh, my voice is reliable, so I can look them in the eyes. No, I just feel safe. I feel protected. So that is the key that I found to maintaining eye contact. That when you look at YouTube videos and all these teachers about social confidence, oh, maintain eye contact. It exudes confidence, and just suck it up and you can do it kind of attitude. Well, that doesn't work when you have a clogged voice, when you have an inhibited voice. And let me tell you a little bit about what is an inhibited voice. Inhibited voice is vocal tightness in the muscles closely around the vocal cords that stifle your expression, stifle your excitement. You may find it difficult for yourself to be assertive. You may find it difficult to express excitement. You may even feel resentment when you notice people around you expressing excitement or expressing frustration in ways that you cannot. So you end up resenting them, and it's all because tightness in the voice. Well, what causes this tightness in the voice? Emotional suppression. Could have happened to you 2 months ago, could have happened 2 years ago, when something more difficult happened in your life and you did not process it fully. And the majority of the time it happens during childhood. For most people, it happens from age 0 to 7. If you are not allowed to express, or not even allowed, if you didn't feel safe to express your emotions, that creates vocal tightness. If you didn't feel safe in school, maybe some teachers were angry, or they were prone to yelling at other kids or at you, or if your friends laughed at you when you expressed something, this all creates that vocal tightness. And it's basically a coping mechanism your brain is trying to create to protect you. Because when this becomes tight and you don't express yourself, nobody can laugh at you, nobody can scream at you, nobody can reprimand you, so you're safe. But obviously, as you grow in life, you want to create meaningful relationships, and you want to excel in your career, and you want to have fun, and you want to live life and share your gifts with the world. Then this tightness needs to be released so that you're expressive and open and free, and you speak from your whole body and not just from your throat and your mouth. So the best way to do that is 2 approaches: is to heal psychologically the things that happened in the past that created this fear and created this coping mechanism, by strengthening your nervous system through healing exercises, through tapping into your heart center, and feeling the emotions. Feeling what it's like to be vulnerable. Feeling what it's like not to have the words to say, and still sitting with that feeling. And you can visualize uncomfortable situations. You could visualize something that happened recently where you couldn't maintain eye contact, and that would be more surface level. Or you can envision something that's deeper, that's older, something that happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. You can put your hand on your heart. I like to imagine my eyes on my hand, and I put my hand on my heart center. And that is the headquarters of who you are, who you truly are. And you can tap into it, sit with it. Don't judge it. Don't judge the emotion. Don't judge the situation. Just be with it. And what that does is it alchemizes the emotion. All of a sudden, this uncomfortable emotion is not uncomfortable anymore. It's becoming less and less. And that is because previously, even though you were feeling the anxiousness, sort of speak, you were not actually feeling it, you were resisting it. Most of the time when people say, I have a lot of anxiety, I'm very anxious, or I feel anxious, most of the time when people say that, they're not actually feeling it. And here's why. Because once they start to feel it, once you start to feel the anxiousness in your body, it starts to go away. So most of the time when people say, I feel anxious, they're actually resisting the anxiousness. So in other words, more accurately, they should be saying, I'm resisting feeling anxious. Because emotions is energy in the body. It's energy in motion. Emotion. Energy in motion. So when we resist it, it becomes stagnant. Then it controls us. And it becomes very unresourceful. It puts us in an unresourceful state. Puts us on fight or flight, or in the situation of eye contact, semi-fight or flight. So we feel certain emotion, we're resisting it, so we divert eye contact. So it's definitely two aspects. One aspect is the emotional psychological part, and one aspect is competency. You have to have the right tools to navigate the social world. Just like I like to give the example, if you go into a boxing match, but with a very powerful fighter, like imagine Rocky and Apollo, right? Apollo Creed, and then Rocky has one hand tied behind his back and he only has one free hand to fight Apollo Creed. Well, no matter how strong and courageous and magnificent Rocky is, he's gonna feel anxious fighting that very powerful Apollo Creed. Because one hand is inhibited, one hand is tied behind his back. There's tightness to it. So every social interaction is like a mini boxing match, and our voice, our fists are the voice. And that's how we say, I love you, I don't love you, I'm comfortable with that, I'm not comfortable with that. It's all with the voice. So we need competency. Even if you work on your psychology, all that you want, even if you release all the limiting beliefs, even if you heal all the suppressed emotions, if your voice is still tight, if you don't have the competency of your vocal instrument, you're still gonna experience the anxiety every time you interact with someone. Every time you're looking and having a conversation with a beautiful girl, your eyes may divert because you don't have the vocal ability. So oftentimes when men are speaking to men, there's more calmness in the voice, there's more low pitches, right? And then you notice when you speak to a kid like, hey buddy, you go in higher pitch because it's a baby and babies make sounds and noises in higher pitches. That's mirroring, that's relating to someone. If you have a male friend that speaks with a deep voice, when you speak to them, automatically you will notice that you're going in a deeper tone in your voice. If you have a female friend or even a male friend that speaks in a higher pitch, you'll notice immediately, because we're social animals. We like to relate to people. We like to mirror. Unconsciously, we're always mirroring the person in front of us. You're gonna notice yourself speaking in a higher pitch. So if your voice is so monotone and doesn't have the higher pitch, when you're speaking to a beautiful woman and she's speaking with higher pitches, higher inflections in her voice, and you don't have this ability, there's gonna be a dissonance. There's gonna be a slight break of rapport because you have this monotone and she has all these varieties and higher tones in her voice. So your voice is so important. By having high variations and low variations in your voice, you can speak to people who are in a position of authority, who speak with a very deep voice, and you can play with your friends, with the opposite sex, with the voice, with high pitch, be playful. With the low pitch, express all these colors in your voice. And even if you have a hard time believing that as humans, we like to mirror the pitches of the people around us, the pitch that you're speaking with right now, your speaking style right now, whether you speak fast, whether you speak slow, you mumble, you stutter, all that originates partially and largely from your parents. As children, the first thing we did when we came into this world is that we screamed and cried. We had all the vocal abilities that we can have. We had no tightness. But then growing up, not only did we suppress ourselves to fit in, we also mimicked the people around us. So if your father had an inhibited voice and you mimic his way of speaking, well, it becomes yours. And then you start to lose the muscles that give your voice the vitality and the color. If your mother had a level of an inhibited voice, if your mother maybe mumbled, stuttered, or spoke in an unsure way, well, naturally, as her child, you start to mimic how she speaks. And even though you were born with a perfectly vibrant voice, you mimicked people who had bad vocal habits. Subsequently, those vocal habits became yours, and your muscles became conditioned that way. That's why as you grow older and you want to open up your voice and you want to be the most expressive and authentic self, I highly encourage people to do specific vocal exercises to start releasing that tightness so you can acquire your natural voice back. I offer a free mini course. I'll link it in the caption. You can go through it. It will teach you specifically the basics for a healthy voice. And of course, if you want to have deeper work one-on-one, I will be honored to help you out. Check out my website for testimonials. If we're a good fit, amazing things can happen. But anyway, so your eye contact sucks because you have an inhibited voice. And all these things that you tried before, looking at someone's eyebrows instead of their eyes, all these hacks that are honestly cringy, they are not sustainable. Well, they could be helpful. I'm not shooting them down completely. These hacks, these pickup artist or, you can do it attitude things, they can work temporarily, but you're not going to be present. I want people to be present because there is a way to be fully present in conversations. With same-sex interactions, with opposite-sex interactions. And it makes all the difference. Because we are social animals, we are built to connect. We are not built to be stuck in the head thinking of all the tips and tricks that we learned on YouTube so that we have people like us, respect us, love us, and connect with us. We just want to be ourselves. We want to enjoy. Like kids, we want to play. Life is a play, and it's meant to be a play. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got for this video. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like and subscribe button to help me out. I love creating this content. I'm very passionate about it, and it will help me spread the knowledge to more and more people, and it will help me make more of this content. So that being said, stay well, be blessed. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.